I believe that we should not ban certain books because banning them will just make people want to read them even more. Some people might disagree with me on this because some books might go against their religion, they might have some censorship, or they might have violence in them. But first of all, if you know a certain book goes against your religion, why are you reading it then? If you know it's wrong to read it, then just don't. Other people might want to read it who don't believe in your religion, so it's not fair to ban a book just because you think it's wrong. Some people think certain books should be banned because they have violence in them. But our school books have violence in them. Our history books for our history classes have violence in them. When we learn about the wars, what was that? Did they just talk it through? No. They fought through it. And for the religious people, the Bible has violence in it. Do you think Jesus died peacefully? No. He was violently killed on the cross. But, there's that. And then for one of my English books I had to read in 8th grade, The Lord of the Flies, it literally is all about violence. I think we should not ban certain books because banning them will just make people want them even more. Books bring knowledge. It is our choice whether or not we choose to retain and gather that knowledge from books or to not. Every book we read brings us some sort of knowledge, even if it's a fantasy book. For example, the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Rick Riordan teaches you about Greek mythology, it teaches you about loyalty, and all this other stuff. The Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling teaches you a little bit about England, about government, about friendship. And it also teaches you about peer pressure a bit too. And banning things, like I said, banning things just make people want it even more. When we ban things, our minds just make us want to have it even more. It is our human nature that draws us to things we are not allowed to have. Mr. Berkman made a speech about this that draws us. He made a speech about this on this subject, and he makes some excellent points that I think you would understand if you listen to it or read it. That he understands it scientifically and factually why this is so. Also, there's another example of this in a kids' TV show called Bunked. It's a Disney Channel show. The show is taking place in this camp called Kikiwaka, and at the camp, the leader of the camp banned candy. So these two kids, Zuri Raz and Jorge, I forgot his last name, they work together and start selling candy secretly to kids, and the kids who are buying the candy will pay any amount of money just to get, even one little tiny chocolate chip piece of candy. Well, I believe we should not ban certain books, because that'll just make people want to read them more. I hope after all the points that I have made that you will agree with me. It's just that banning a book because you feel it's not right affects other people and not just you. There are other people there that might want to read that book. Yes, some books have violence, and yes, some books might have inappropriate things in them, but it is a decision each person should make for themselves whether or not they should read that certain book. Thank you for listening, and good day.